Hello and welcome to quiz class. Today we have 100 questions on vocabulary. So let's take a look at what each word means here. Which word means of, relating to, or being an intermediate state, phase, or condition? Redundant, liminal, or fortuitous? Liminal. What is a custom or usage regarded as distinguishing one group from others? Salutation, verboten, or shibboleth? Shibboleth. What is the typical shape expected in a meniscus? Curve or crescent, triangle or pyramid, square or brick? Curve or crescent? What part of the body is referred to with the noun gastralgia? Buttocks, brain, or stomach? Stomach. If someone is verklempt, what state are they in? Overcome with emotion, exhausted from movement, or devoid of rational belief? Overcome with emotion. What classification is usually assigned to something in escrow? Financial, culinary, or spiritual? Financial. In the list below, what word is not derived from the Latin verb religare that means to rebind? Dismissal, obligation, or reverence? Dismissal. Which is a noun for a plant or something plant-like? Cartilage, aqueduct, or tendril? Tendril. Which word is not a noun and a verb for decoration? Arrange, festoon, or garland? Arrange. What is the definition of caloricity? The inability to admit fault and adhere to terms of restoration, energetic quotient of individual grams in a source material, or psychological ability to develop and maintain bodily heat? Psychological ability to develop and maintain. Physiological. That was physiological ability. What does the adjective oniric refer to? Dreams, accomplishments, or mistakes? Dreams. What is a synonym for lackadaisical? Devoid, languid, or radiant? Languid. What word describes fabric that can be seen through or see-through? Opaque, gabardine, or diaphanous? Diaphanous. What type of solid material is described as regolith? Stone, ice, or iron? stone. What is an example of vermilion? Scarlet, cerulean, or mustard? Scarlet. What is the transitive verb vanquish in practice? To create, to overcome, or to submit? To overcome. What is not a definition of quotidian? Everyday, ordinary, or boring? Boring. What is a bibelot? A small household ornament or decorative object, a private library, or an author who writes in multiple different languages? A small household ornament or decorative object. What is an item doing if it is redolent? Lacking color, exuding fragrance, or changing shape? Exuding fragrance. What is German for wistful longing? Sehnsucht, Fernweh, or Kummerschaft? Sehnsucht. What is not a definition for composite? Made up of distinct parts or elements, wood turning using traditional equipment or by hand, factorable into two or more prime factors other than one and itself. Wood turning using traditional equipment or by hand. What type of journey is a peregrination? Swim, run, or walk? A walk. What type of experience might happen when someone falls under a spell? Ensorcel, enervate, or entice? Ensorcel. What is not part of glossolalia? Tongues, religion, or education? Education. What is a whispering murmur an example of? Susurration, diffidence, or clandestine? Susurration. What is an example of something that surpasses all others? Superlative, magisterial, or emphatic? Superlative. What type of emotion is eudaimonia? Depression, happiness, or revulsion? Happiness. Which word describes ostentation and finery? Frippery, flattery, or favorability? Frippery. What is a rabbit's foot key charm an example of? Insignia, escutcheon, or talisman? Talisman. Which is not an example of an idiom? Hit the hay, catch 40 winks, or get some sleep? Get some sleep. What does elongate mean in biology? Amphibian, length in relation to width, or without a spine? Length in relation to width. What is umpteen the value of? Infinity, indefinitely numerous, or a minimum of 100? Indefinitely numerous. What does a precursor indicate? The related sequel, the logical next step, or the approach of another? The approach of another. What is the occurs after that postprandial refers to? A meal, a walk, or a debate? A meal. Which option is not an example of an omnibus? A bus, a book, or a theater? A theater. What type of poet was a troubadour? Lyric poet, haiku poet, or prose poet? A lyric poet. What recurs in a leitmotif? Musical theme, textile pattern, or sculptural detail? Or sculptural detail? A musical theme. What is shared in a coterie? Interests, blood, or ownership? Interests. What feature defines the anorak garment in Greenlandic? Hood, material, or origin? The hood. Which word doesn't define something apocryphal? Concealed, doubtful, or authentic? Authentic. What might the stalk of a salmon be described as? Filament, trunk, or petal? A filament. What is elision an act of? Intermission, confrontation, or omission? Omission. What is the archaic definition of meridian? Daybreak, midday, or sunset? midday. Which word is not a synonym for inscribe? Emulate, engrave, or incise? Emulate. What is a person who is clever, original, and inventive described as having? Cunning, ingenuity, or wolfishness? Ingenuity. What etymological color does the word chrysalis refer to? Silver, gold, or bronze? Gold. What is not minutia? Trifles, details, or facets? Facets. What activities material is recycled as a palimpsest? Writing, smelting, or gardening? Writing. Which food group's name is taken from the Latin for enjoyment of produce, harvest? Wheat, fruit, or legumes? Fruit. What quality might a doubtful person have? Stoutness, timorousness, or brazenness? Brazenness. Timorousness. What would a tussock look like? Compact grassy growth, unruly mess of hair, or devotional garments worn for leisure? Compact grassy growth. What level of satisfaction is something copacetic? Unsatisfying, passably satisfying, or very satisfying? Very satisfying. Which is a synonym for quiescent? Exhausted, fallow, or fecund? Fallow. Where would a Babel likely be found? During a service of worship, amongst a group of rushing strangers, or in the waiting room of a hospital? Amongst a group of rushing strangers. Which word has the definition of strong desire? Licentiousness, hedonism, or concupiscence? Concupiscence. Where is a couloir body of water found? Steep mountainside, natural ocean harbor, or tidal marsh? Steep mountainside. In what area of life does someone who's abstemious show restraint? The satisfaction of appetite, discretionary spending, or length of speech? Satisfaction of appetite. What runs over and into something else in an enjambment? Water descending from upper channels, words in sequences or couplets, migratory birds moving in a group formation. Words in sentences or couplets. What type of term is a parallelepiped? Entomological, geometric, or botanical? Parallelepiped. Geometric. Where would the word omertà, meaning code of silence, originate? Italy, Portugal, or Spain? Italy. Which word does numinous not describe? Supernatural, holy, or cinematic? Cinematic. What would someone demonstrating contumacy be resistant to? Conversion, authority, or treatment? Authority. To play the mountebank is an example of what? A charlatan, a comic, or a Samaritan? A charlatan. What type of speech is a rodomontado? Bragging, honest, or retiring? Bragging. What is perfidy, an act or instance of? Courage, loyalty, or treachery? Treachery. What is shaky or yielding in a quagmire? Land, faith, or walls? Land. What is the period or state of blossoming? Tumescence, sapidity, or efflorescence? Efflorescence. At what point of a speech is the peroration? Beginning, closing remarks, or conclusion? Conclusion. What does succour give? Relief, retribution, or reinforcement? Relief. What might someone who is ludibrious be accused of? Liking obsolete things, being anti-technology, or neglecting their lower back? Liking obsolete things. Which word does not involve the murder of one's sibling? Fratricide, matricide, or sororicide? Matricide. Which word is not an accepted definition for invidious? obnoxious, malevolent, or envious. Malevolent. What is sought with an elucidation? Elucidation. To make something clear, to confuse and deter, or to undermine and destabilize. To make something clear. In what setting is a boscage? Forest or land, gallery or museum, or kitchen or restaurant? Forest or land. What is something that is coming into existence? Rudimentary, solipsistic, or nascent? Nascent. What is an incunabulum? An early version of a printed book, photography, or machine finished textiles? A printed book. What is an indigent person like? Selfless and stoic, demanding and belligerent, or needy and charity-seeking? Needy and charity-seeking. What is the origin of the 20th century slang milquetoast? French admission of defeat, American dish, or Creole social greeting? An American dish. What type of person is particularly culpable if they commit malfeasance? Legal guardian, ordinary citizen, or public official? Public official. What does a tabula rasa promise in Latin? Clean slate, table discussion, or red dawn? A clean slate. What level of mental vision does a perspicacious person have? Acute, declined, or elementary? Acute. Which word means to take or draw a long, deep breath like a sigh? Suspire, perspire, or aspire? Suspire. What word is a synonym for anhedonia? Dysphoria, morose, or pessimistic? Dysphoria. If something is prolix, what is marked by an excess of? What is it marked by an excess of? Energy, words, or funding? Words. If a governmental leader dispatches a plenipotentiary representative, what power do they have? Representative only, informal negotiating power, or full representative power? Full representative power. What does someone with mythomania have an abnormal or excessive tendency towards? Belief in the supernatural, lying or exaggerating, or trusting strangers? Lying or exaggerating. A person marked by contemptible timidity is someone who is what? Truculent, pusillanimous, or fractious? Pusillanimous. What is ergophobia, the morbid fear of? Returning to work, rowboats, or baby birds? Returning to work. What is not a definition of execrable? Wretched hotel food, detestable crimes, or disappointing performances? Disappointing performances. What might someone with dyspepsia not be suffering from? Indigestion, infatuation, or disgruntlement? Infatuation. What would a vituperative outburst be characterized as? Supportive and kind, confused and misguided, or bitter and abusive? Bitter and abusive. If something is extemporized, in what manner is it done? Impulsively, intentionally, or imaginatively? Impulsively. What word is etymologically derived from Latin for ancestor? Archivist, apostolic, or atavism? Atavism. What does a mendacious person diverge from? Absolute interest, absolute commitment, or absolute truth? Absolute truth. What color change happens if something is etiolated? Bleaching, darkening, or illumination? Bleaching. What type of smell is a fug? Warm, sweet, or bitter? Warm. What does limerence refer to? Passionate, anxious desire, reciprocal long-term love, or declining, embattled partnership? Passionate, anxious desire. What is another word for furor? Commotion, unity, or serenity? Commotion. What is happening to something erubescent? Wilting, reddening, or expanding? Reddening. Question 100. What type of person might be presumed to be bellicose? Fighter, doctor, or farmer? Fighter. And for our bonus question, which part of the body has a not so humorous bone? Let us know the answer in the comments. Thanks for playing this quiz. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.